Okay, hello everyone. 皆さん、こんにちは。見えていますか？聞こえていますか？こんばんは。Hello, hello. Okay, so すでに今15人見えてますね。There's already 15 people joining and even more dropping in, numbers going up. Very nice. Welcome everyone. So, yeah, thank you for joining us. それでは第29回、英語シンポジウムホリデーシーズンを楽しもうを、開始したいと思います。本日司会を担当しますカフェトークスタッフのマレーンと申します。My name is Madeline, and I will be your host for this 29th English Symposium. Enjoy the holiday season. 本日は3人の講師が参加していただきます。テーマはこちらになります。I will now introduce the three tutors who are joining today and the topics they will be talking about. まずは、ダニエル講師が、バルバドスのクリスマスと12月の祝日について話してくれます。So first we have Danielle, who will be telling us about Christmas and December holiday traditions in Barbados. で次には、ティメア、講師がハンガリーのクリスマスと、年末年始について話してくれます。And then we have Timea, who will teach us about Christmas and New Year's celebrations in Hungary. And then finally, そして、最後に、カラー先生が、アメリカのクリスマスの歴史と、お祝いの方法について教えてくれます。And Kara will be teaching us about the history of Christmas and how it is celebrated today in America. もしこの質問やコメント、すみません、もし講師へのご質問やコメントがあれば、英語でも日本語でも、大丈夫なので、ぜひ気軽に、右側にあるチャットボックスに、送信してください。書いてください。If you have any questions or comments for the tutors during the presentations, anything you want to know more about, feel free to write it in the chat on the right side, and we will pick up your questions after the presentation. 今日の配信は後でも無料でもう一度見れますので、もし途中に参加された方、もう一度見たい方はぜひ、数日後にもう一度、キャンペーンページを開いて、アーカイブをご覧ください。So if you're maybe joining later or you just want to watch it again, you can find the recording of the stream later on the campaign page, usually the next day or so, and then watch it again if you like. そして、配信を見ながら、良さそう、ちょっとだけ、先生に応援ポイントを送りたいと思った場合は、右側のチャットの方に応援ポイント機能もついていますので、もしよかったらぜひ、それもお使いください。While you're watching the stream, if you want to motivate the tutors or just say thank you, the thank you point system is also built in the chat on the right side. So if you want to, you can also send a thank you point comment, which will look a little bit different than the usual comments. それでは、スタートしたいと思います。So let's get started. First, with Danielle's presentation. So yes, let's learn about Christmas and December holidays traditions in Barbados. And let's switch over to Danielle's screen.
Hi everyone. For this symposium, I will be speaking about Christmas traditions in Barbados. On this slide, you'll see right in the center, the blue, yellow, and black flag is our flag. In the center, you'll see the broken thread, that looks like that. That's our flag. So, about this symposium. I am Danielle, and I love languages. My first language is English, but on the island that I live on, we speak broken English. And I live on a beautiful island in the Caribbean. Our culture is a mix of Christian culture and other African cultures. So we celebrate Christmas, and we are very polite. We can also be very loud and very fun. So we call ourselves Bajans. Yeah, you can try saying it, Bajans. And if you can hear anything, I'm sorry about that. So the three things that we'll be looking at will be traditions, food, and events that occur in Barbados during the holidays. Okay, so our first thing would be traditions. You'll see right here on this side, the first star at the top is our first tradition, which is putting up the Christmas tree on the 1st of December. Why is this? Because in Barbados, our independence is actually on the 30th of November. So our Christmas season doesn't start until December the 1st. When you'll see right here in the little green circle with me wearing a blue shirt, that's me on the 30th with my little flower in my hair and my blue shirt for our independence colors. And the other picture parallel to that is for our second tradition, which is holiday events. So on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, which is the 24th and the 25th, church would be our biggest event because of our Christian influence. But before that, we have party cruises. So that photo is me dressed for a party cruise in the beginning of December this year. That was so much fun. In the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see, gifts. Those are our fourth point, which is buying curtains, Christmas gifts, and gift exchange. So that is my photo from last year, the items I received in my family's annual gift exchange. Let's see. And then in the bottom, you'll see a green circle. That is persons picking peas. So here, every Christmas, we have a Christmas tradition of picking peas. Yes. And if you know what peas are called, field peas, you can look at the picture and you'll see two persons with buckets, if you can see it clearly, and they'll go in the field, and pick the peas buckets by buckets. You'll pay the person who owns the field, and then you'll sell the peas to get extra money for Christmas every year. My grandmother's already done her bidding. She's sold her peas. And our last one, I have no photo for that, is that we have chattel houses, which are wooden houses that are collapsible and transportable. For those ones, you can spray them down with water with a hose, which would be like a long pipe. Spray them down with water so they look bright and clean every Christmas. My house is not a chattel house, it's a wall house. So I just clean my windows, which I've already done. Now, on to foods. Food, I think, will be my favorite part of Christmas. I love food. So, my favorite part of the foods. Okay, so our first food would be jug jug, which is right underneath the word topic with the little green stems on top. The main component is peas. So the peas that you pick and we pick, us, and we keep, always go in the jug jug. There are other ingredients, but peas is the base of the jug jug. Jug jug is very delicious, and I love to eat it as like a side dish. But you can also eat it on top of like rice, because I know rice is very common in Japan. And then my second food would be stuffing, which is on this side at the top in a little heart. It's actually, you can use different things. So if you're vegetarian, it would just be like biscuits, which are like crackers, crumbled together with different vegetables. But I like it with meat, and the meat we use is liver, chicken liver. It's delicious. You can use it to stuff turkey, but as you'll see, turkey is not very common here, but we just eat it as a side dish. Candied yam and pudding aren't necessarily Bajan foods, but I love them because my sister-in-law makes candied yam for me, which is yam, a ground provision, with sugar, syrup, and marshmallows on top. It sounds delicious. And pudding is a kind of cake. Pudding is a kind of cake that we call it pudding, but it's just like plain cake, vanilla cake. And then ham, which you'll see right there at the top in the heart and the bread, that would be the pig leg, which is pork, and the ham that we eat is always in the bread, and we call them ham cutters, which is bread and ham. Number three would be sorrel, and my photo is not showing it my green heart for sorrel, but sorrel is a beautiful red flower that shapes something like this, and you boil it and make sorrel drink. Very delicious. And hibiscus tea isn't really a Christmas tradition. That's number four. But in speaking to my students, I found that in Japan, hibiscus tea is also a very big thing. But we usually use the oil for like our hair or our skin, hibiscus oil. Because in the earlier photo right here, in a green circle, I have a hibiscus flower right in my hair because they grow all through my neighborhood. Now, the last one would be buying plus and malt. So our local rum is Monkey rum. If you've ever heard of it, very strong. So when they're making the rum, two byproducts come off of the rum. What makes malt and what makes plus. Plus is lighter and more of an energy drink, and malt is heavier and more of if you like haven't eaten, and it kind of helps with energy, but it's more of a heavier kind of drink. And my mom's already bought our malt and plus, and I'm so excited to drink them. Now for our Bajan holiday events. Okay, so I think yes, food would be my favorite, but I also love the events. Oh, I forgot one important thing. What are my favorite foods? Ham and sorrel. Ham because I love because my mum and I make it with pineapples, cloves, and then we put it in the oven. It's very sweet and tender. And the sorrel is because my aunt had a sorrel plant growing in her yard right behind her house, and every year she'd make a big jug of sorrel for us, and it's very sweet and it has like a spicy hint because you'll make it with cinnamon, sometimes clove also, and other spices, and it's very delicious. I love sorrel and ham together, and I can't wait till Christmas Day on the 25th to have my sorrel and my ham. Now for the events. So the first event would be Queen's Park dress up. That is right here in the green sun shape where the persons are dressed in nice clothing. So you'll put on what we call our Sunday's best. It would be something like this, but more elaborate with jackets, and sometimes you'll wear African wear, and persons will have big elaborate hats and a fascinator, and which is a very interesting English word. It's a kind of hat that's like right here, and it's a circle, and you usually have mesh and feathers and flowers. Everything is beautiful. We have our big church hats. The men will have on suits with button-down suits in bright colors like blue and red. And every year there's a competition for a winner. So we love to tune in on our televisions and watch the yearly Queen's Park dress up. And Queen's Park, by the way, is our main park in Bridgetown, and Bridgetown is our main town. I'm actually, funny enough, in Bridgetown right now. So Bridgetown is our main town. We have three other towns, Oisin, Speightstown, and Whole Town, but Bridgetown is our main town, which has the port, it has all the shopping, everything, all in Bridgetown. So the second item would be the Christmas Eve town rush. I looked for a photo of that, but I couldn't find any from last year. But every Christmas Eve, our favorite thing to do, for as I would have mentioned, the gift exchange is one of our traditions. Everyone goes, I haven't bought my gift yet, so I might be part of the Christmas Eve rush. Running in town on the 24th, there are hundreds of Barbadians in town, Bajans, and they are running all through town trying to get last minute gifts, and you're squeezing through the little streets and little alleys trying to get from store to store for sales. I personally don't prefer it, but my family loves it. So every year, all of the cars are started up and we hop in and go Christmas Eve shopping. I love it. To the next day. So number three, which you'll see on that side, this side, yes, right here at the top is one of my favorites, Christmas luncheon. So at the top in a red star on this side, you'll see a picture of food. That was my Christmas breakfast last year, which was the same ham, I think fruits, biscuits, and yes, bread for a ham cutter. And the Christmas luncheon, I didn't have a photo from last year either, but I love to take photos, so I was surprised. But for Christmas luncheon, you'll have ham, candied yam, jug, stuffing, turkey, because turkey is not very common, but it's also still made. You'll have sorrel, plus malt, ice cream, all of the foods laid out on the table, and all of my family will come together. This year, our theme is red. So we'll be wearing red or pink, but I chose red. I'm wearing a red shirt. I love red for Christmas. And that's what we're wearing. And then we have our gift exchange where everyone picks a name from a hat before and we exchange. I think I have my aunt this year, so I have to get her a gift. And the last one would be lighting, decorating, and floating the trees in town. By town, I mean Bridgetown. That's the red photo right here. You'll see a red photo in the sun that has like blue lights in the center. That's our Constitution River, which passes through Bridgetown. And they'll literally take trees, put them on top of a raft, a little wooden raft, put it in the ocean and float it. So it floats, not the ocean, sorry, the river. So it floats around the river, and the river actually meets to the ocean. But they put in the river end, and when you're going through Bridgetown, Christmas trees are floating along the river. That is my favorite part because I actually, yes, at the beginning of December, I was in town doing some shopping, buying the curtains, getting stuff to clean the house, and I saw them float the trees this year. I was very happy to see that. So if you ever visit Barbados in Christmas, get early enough to see the float of the trees. Beautiful spectacle. And they also have a lighting ceremony. So on the 1st of November, we have a lighting ceremony for Independence, which is all of November. And then when November ends, all the lights change from blue, yellow, and black, which are our colors, and they add red and green for Christmas, and it's bright and beautiful, and it's on the television. So yes, my favorites are obviously the luncheon and floating the trees. For this is an activity. You can do it. You can think about it. So you can just think about questions that you have in your mind. I'll give you some examples here, and you can speak it up with me or one of our amazing tutors here, and you can speak to them. And it would be amazing if you can speak about my traditions and their traditions. So, what traditions are the same for you in your culture? What traditions are different? And what are your favorite Beijing foods, events, or holidays? So, yes, so you can ask any questions you can in the chat, and we'll answer them towards the ending. And just my last thing would be, what is my favorite Christmas thing? Is it the events, foods, or the traditions? My favorite thing would obviously be the foods. Favorite food would have to be ham. And my favorite event would have to be the luncheon because I love family events and I love to be with my family. I love the food. I love the laughter. Last year we played games like Jenga, musical cheers. So it's very nice. And then before that, for our traditions, we have, what would be my favorite tradition? I can't pick one. It would have to be maybe buying curtains. No, I think it would have to be the party cruise this year. That was amazing. Okay, so that is actually the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening, and we're going on to the next tutor.
Okay, thank you very much. ありがとうございました。That was so interesting. There was so much I had no idea about and that I learned now. And when I saw your presentation earlier, just the slides, there were a few things that I was confused about, like the floating trees, and now I understand. And I definitely wanted to ask you about that. So before we move on to, there's a few questions in the chat, but I'll leave the students to maybe ask some more. ちょっと私から先生に質問したいと思いますが、ぜひチャットにも質問を書いてください。後でピックアップします。You mentioned curtains. So I was just wondering, what's the tradition with the curtains? Is it a present? Is it a decoration?
Oh, curtains are like window blinds to block out the light.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we call them curtains. So every year the tradition is to buy a new set that you had last year and to have a theme with colors, and you buy curtains and it matches everything in the house.
I see. But they're not necessarily like Christmas color themed. They're just
Yes. So my
whatever
theme this
fits
year is
your...
green. It's green this year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
And you said your family has a color theme for the Christmas party this year, so everyone's red and pink, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, that's so great. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds so fun. So definitely for Christmas, everyone buys new clothes every year. It's
Yes, I've
not
already bought
okay
my
to
outfit.
rewear.
No, you have to get a new outfit every year.
Okay, nice. As a child, what part of Christmas were you enjoying most? Is it different from as an adult?
Of course, as a child, my favorite part was the presents.
Mhm.
As an adult, I appreciate family more, so my favorite part is the luncheon with the family.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Let's see if I had anything else. Yeah, I love the thing about picking peas and then the peas being part of the food as well. That was really nice. One student in the chat asked about the weather in December in Barbados. How warm is it? Is it different?
As you can see, it's very hot. That's the sun shining on me.
Yeah,
It's really hot.
nice. Um, Yeah, so not the snowy Christmas for sure. Yeah. Okay. Um, Also, yeah, I was wondering because you mentioned that in November and then kind of at the beginning of it all is Independence Day. So do you celebrate that in kind of a celebratory way with friends and eating as well, or is it a different celebration? Or
Yes, it's also about eating, but you can only eat Barbadian foods.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we have
Okay, makes
specific
sense.
Barbadian foods. Yeah, and then we have to wear the colors, which is blue, yellow, or black. And we'll
Mhm.
have an event where we sell or eat the Barbadian foods. And that's basically it for that one.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so you have kind of a flowing party time from November to December. Okay, great. Yeah. Another student said Jug Jug sounds very healthy. And the floating trees sound so cool. Yeah, I agree. That sounded really, really cool.
It is really cool.
Okay, great. Yeah, then let's move to Hungary next. Timea, feel free to start whenever the screen switches to you.
All right, well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. My name is Timea and I'm from Hungary, but currently I'm located in Japan actually. And yeah, I had some very fun classes with many of you guys. So maybe some of you are watching right now, and I'm very excited to meet also new students. All right, so I will talk about Christmas in Hungary and also about New Year. So this is the Hungarian flag for those who are not familiar with it. And this is where Hungary is located. Um, just a rough idea. So it's kind of Central Europe next to Austria. And also, Hungary is a Christian country, so Christmas celebration is also related to going to church. So as you can see, I put some pictures of the church, and maybe you have seen the wreath before. In many countries, this is very popular, but maybe you don't know about the significance of these candles, so that's why I put them up here. So number one is the one we lit up in the first week. So it's usually the first Sunday of December, and it signifies hope. And then every Sunday we light up a new one. The second one is love, and the third one is joy. And then on Christmas Eve, it's the peace candle. And yeah, December 25th, probably all of you know it's Christmas Day. And you might be wondering, what do Hungarians do for Christmas, right? Well, we have lots of Christmas markets. We really love these markets. They have these little wooden houses and, of course, the big Christmas trees, lots of food and drinks. And let's see, what kind of foods do we have? So one of the big hits is stuffed cabbage, and in winter we prepare this from fermented cabbage. And we also like sausage and meat. Poppy seed roll. This is very, very common in Hungary, and actually I love this. And this year I'm trying to make it. So I had a class with a couple of you guys, and you were asking about the recipe. So I have a good recipe for this one if you guys are interested. And then also gingerbread. This is quite popular in other countries also. And yeah, Christmas in my family. We always celebrate in my family. So you can see this is me actually here with a funny smile. And then my grandparents here in the back, my cousin, mom, and my aunt, and my dad was taking the picture. So yeah, basically, Christmas is a big thing in the family. And yeah, when I was a child, Santa would come also to the kindergarten or to school. Opening up the presents was like a big deal, was like the highlight. And usually we would open them on the 24th at night. Okay, and then about how to say Merry Christmas in Hungarian, we say Boldog Karácsony. So if you want to try to say it, we have these a bit difficult longer vowels and consonants that are a bit difficult to pronounce. But yeah, so you can try to repeat after me. Boldog karácsonyt. Boldog karácsonyt. That's Merry Christmas. All right, and then about New Year in Hungary. So we really like fireworks, as you can see here. And December 31st, New Year's Eve in the evening. And this is when Hungarians get together with family and friends. And there's different ways to party. So if Christmas was the celebration where the family was getting together, New Year is when, especially younger people, they like to hang out with their friends. But some people like to hang out with their family, like at a restaurant, or just spend some time at home, just like this, cook some food and relax, chill. So yeah, it depends on the people, depends on the families. And I want to talk a little bit about New Year's traditions. For example, one of the traditions is to put a coin in the pogacha. And pogacha is, can you guess what it is? It's actually this little bread, and we bake this bread kind of. It's like kind of a cookie or like a biscuit, and we put a coin inside it. And then if you find that coin, it means you will be very lucky. But it's also kind of dangerous, so if you bite on it, your teeth. But yeah, it's kind of a tradition. Not many people do it anymore. These are more like old traditions. Also, another one is find the name of your future husband, especially ladies. They put some papers with names in dumplings, and then they boil the dumplings, and then the first one they pick out, that will be their husband. But this is also kind of an old tradition, so not many people do this anymore. But I thought I would introduce it to you guys because it's quite funny. Okay, and of course, food again, like Christmas and New Year, and these kind of celebrations are a lot about food. And you might be wondering, what should you eat to be lucky, right? What kind of food should you eat? And maybe if you're thinking chicken, do you think it's chicken? Could it be chicken? Well, no, chicken actually will scratch your luck away. Hungarians think that chicken will scratch your luck away, so you should not eat chicken on New Year's Eve. Okay, then what else do we have? Maybe fish. How about fish? Fish seems healthy. Nice. Well, actually, nope. Fish makes your luck swim away. Your luck will swim away. So that's also not a good choice. The best choice for food on New Year's Eve is pork. And there is an explanation behind this one. It's because we have a saying in Hungarian, "Malacod lesz." Malacod lesz, which means you will have pig. If we do the literal translation, malac is pig and less is you will have. But actually, it means you will be lucky. And everybody wants to be lucky, right? For New Year, for the next year. You want to have the most of luck possible. And also, we eat lentil, as you can see here. That is because people want to have, of course, a lot of money. Yes, because lentil looks like money. So, yeah, you want to be lucky and you want to have a lot of money. Also, this is one of my favorites on New Year's Eve. Usually after 12 o'clock, if somebody's still hungry after eating the whole day or after eating since Christmas, we have some sausages with mustard and maybe some paprika. Hungarians really like paprika. So, yeah, this is very common for Hungarians to eat. And champagne, of course, is a big deal. So we usually have fireworks, as you can see in the background, and we do the countdown, and then we also do the cheers with champagne. And actually, children are also allowed to stay awake, but of course, they don't drink champagne. They drink like kids' champagne or something like that without alcohol. And yeah, in general, New Year's Eve is like a cheerful and relaxing time. So many people like to just hang out with their family, watch something, some comedy on the TV, and lay back and relax. Okay, so that's about it from me. Thank you very much for listening. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you very much for sharing that about Christmas and New Year's in Hungary.
Awesome.
First of all, I have to say the poppy seed rolls looked really delicious. I definitely would love to try that. Are they very sweet or what are they like?
Actually, they are quite sweet, and this year I'm planning to make them, but in Japan you cannot really find poppy seeds, so I will make the walnut one. And I just checked the recipe, and actually you mix the walnut with some jam, so it's gonna be real sticky and real sweet.
Ah, nice.
Yeah,
It looks really, really delicious. Yeah.
yeah.
When you showed the photo of Christmas traditions and maybe one of your family photos, I'm not sure, there was one
Mhm.
photo of lots of children all wearing the same clothes. I was wondering if you have school uniform in Hungary, or was that just celebratory cute clothes
Uh,
that look very similar?
we used to have, and some schools still have uniforms, so I guess it depends on the school and the kindergarten, yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, no, that looked really cute, everyone wearing the same cute clothes.
Yeah.
Um, And then at the end, I think it was the last slide you showed, there was like a stage play or actors in one of the photos. So I was
Yes.
wondering if is there traditional stage plays or TV things that people watch on New Year's?
Actually, yes, a lot of people like to go to the theater,
Mhm.
and the theaters have like special plays. And also, what I put that picture was one of my favorite comedy shows that I used to watch when I was a kid, and it was kind of like a theater recording, but they would show it on TV, and it was really funny and kind of like absurd humor, very funny one.
Nice. And is it basically because we have something similar like that in Germany where every New Year's is the same stuff on TV because people want to see the traditional stuff and they just watch the same stuff every year? Is there something similar?
Some of them are the same, but like especially these comedies, they try to always renew and make something fun and like about the current affairs or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, nice. That sounds fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
One student asks, how do you cook the pork on Christmas, the one for the good luck?
Oh yeah, that one is quite difficult. So people don't really make that at home. The picture that I showed, it's more like a rotisserie pig, or I'm not sure how to call it. So they put it like on a stick, and then they rotate it above the fire, and then they make it on the markets, and then you can just buy a slice or something. But then you could just cook pork in the stuffed cabbage. You could put some pork as the filling, or like you could just fry some meat, some pork. Yeah, or the sausage, you could choose the pork sausages.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ah, that sounds delicious. And one student asked about the New Year's tradition, the old one you said, where there's a random name
Mhm.
in a dumpling. Is it any name, or would people put a name of someone in their friend circle? So,
Of course, it would be like some boys that you are attracted to and you would like consider marrying. So the girls would write those names that they liked, and then they would pick their winner, so to say.
nice. Yeah, by the way, sorry, I forgot to say that earlier, but Danielle and Kara, if you want to ask anything, feel free to ask as well. Okay, let me just check the chat again. Okay. Yeah, and about how the food looks really good. One student said, yeah, I definitely agree that all looked
Oh,
really good.
cool. Glad to hear that.
Okay, then yeah, let's move to the US then. Whenever you're ready, Kara.
Of course. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be sharing American Christmas traditions with you. This is my first Christmas that I am not spending with my family. I'm actually living in Japan. So, this is making me feel very happy that I can talk about everything. So, my family is huge. I am Irish Catholic. So I was born and raised in America. However, my grandparents came to America from Ireland, and Irish families are massive. My mom has 11 brothers and sisters, and my dad has 8. So as you can see here, this is a family photo from one of our Christmas parties. This is not everyone at all. There are actually so many of us that we all have numbers instead of names. So I am number 27, and this is all of us celebrating Christmas. So it would be impossible to talk about Christmas without talking about why we celebrate it. So, like I said, I am Irish Catholic, and I attended Catholic school for a long time. So we study the history and the reasons behind why we do certain things. You may hear Christmas referred to as the Nativity. This means the birth of Jesus. Now, every type of Christianity has their own version, but there's always parts that remain the same. The first part is that Mary and Joseph were a married couple, and they were living in Nazareth, Israel. Now, Mary was visited by Archangel Gabriel, and Archangel Gabriel came to Mary and said, "You will have a baby, and this baby will be the Son of God. His name will be Jesus." Obviously, Mary was terrified. She was worried, she was doubtful, and she was questioning. However, she made peace with the decision and said, "Let it happen as God chooses." Now, you may be wondering, how does Joseph, her husband, feel about this? He was also visited by the angel, and the angel told him, "This will be the child that will save us, and this will be the Son of God." So Joseph and Mary traveled to Bethlehem, which is a pretty far journey from where they were. And the only place they could stay was in a stable or a farm. That's why you often see animals in the nativity scene. A bright star shone in the night sky when Mary was in labor, meaning when she was having her baby. This angel appeared from the star. The angel was very busy during this time. The angel appeared from the star and told 3 wise men, another word for king, to go and visit this newborn baby. The 3 wise men brought gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And this is why we give gifts to our families today. The gifts had meaning. Gold, obviously, is a very valuable metal. And this was given because Jesus was to be the king of the Jewish people. Frankincense is a smell used in religious ceremonies. This was to show that Jesus would be the new leader of a religion. And myrrh is actually a perfume that was put on dead bodies. Bad gift, but this was to show that Jesus would die for our sins. Please get better Christmas gifts than the wise men. I could spend hours talking about the Catholic religion, but to summarize, Jesus was a gift from God to save us from our sins. And as you can see here, we have Mary, Joseph, the 3 wise men, and all of the farm animals greeting baby Jesus. Many Americans, especially my family, are very religious. So many people will go to what's called midnight mass, which is held at midnight, and it is brutal. It is so late and cold and tiring, but some religious people believe that this is the most holy time that we have to go to church. So, let's talk about Christmas in the present day. I am from very close to New York City in the United States. And we have the famous Christmas tree. It is the biggest Christmas tree in the United States in Rockefeller Center in New York City. There are many ideas of why we have Christmas trees. Some people believe it scares away the devil. Some people believe it is a sign of Jesus. And other people did it because the Queen of England did it. We put ornaments and lights on our trees, and usually a star or an angel at the top. This is another picture of Rockefeller Center. It attracts hundreds, if not thousands, of visitors every year. It will not be a New York City Christmas without the Radio City Rockettes. The Rockettes are a dance group, and they perform a Christmas show every year. It is always sold out. Their famous dance is the Falling Soldiers. You have to see it. Another thing we do is decorate Christmas trees, like I said. So we will go to Christmas tree farms and cut down our own tree. However, if that sounds like too much work, you can buy them at the grocery store as well. We usually use pine, spruce, or fir trees, and the smell is amazing. I love Christmas time for that reason. And if you're not into having a big tree, a wreath will do just fine. Christmas cards are so popular. Usually it's a picture of the family and a nice little wish for 2024 or the next year. Sometimes people will write about good things that happened this year, big changes, maybe new babies, marriages, new jobs. So it's always a nice time to connect with everyone. Santa Claus. Santa Claus is actually a Christian saint. He was a very kind and giving person, and now we celebrate his generosity by giving gifts to others. Santa is not from America. He's actually from Germany, and he came to America in 1773. As you can see here, this is me and my dad. This was last year. We were shopping for a Christmas wreath, and we ran into Santa Claus. Santas often are at like malls or big shopping centers. We have a couple of traditions that are so fun. We have Elf on the Shelf. This is a very new tradition. I did not have it when I was a child. It's a little doll that's supposed to be kind of naughty and mischievous. So every night when children go to sleep, parents will move the elf to make it look like he's doing mischief at night. It stresses my sisters out so much thinking of what to do with this doll. We also wear ugly Christmas sweaters. And we hang stockings, which is where you can put presents. Santa Claus comes to our houses on Christmas Eve night when everyone is asleep. And there is a rule. He will not leave you presents unless you give him milk and cookies. So every American house will have milk, cookies, and sometimes people will leave carrots for the reindeer. Santa has 9 reindeer, and the one at the front is Rudolph. Rudolph is famous because his nose is like a light, so he is always at the front guiding the sleigh. This is a real reindeer. They're so big and kind of scary. The milk and cookies and the carrots, like I mentioned. In Japan, I know you have Christmas cakes. We don't really do that in the States. We do Christmas cookies, and usually these recipes are passed down from generation to generation. We also drink hot chocolate or hot cocoa. It's delicious. And even pets participate in the holidays. Many people will dress up their pets and take them to go see Santa. It's adorable. These people are called carolers. And sometimes when you're at home, during the Christmas season, you will hear on your door, and these people will be outside singing. So they visit homes in a town and sing a little Christmas song. This is an example of a Christmas list. This is what American children will use to write down the presents that they want. They leave it for Santa with their milk and cookies. And sometimes in different parts of the country, not New York City, we can take a horse-drawn carriage if it is snowing. So this is a tradition where we ride in a sleigh, which is quite like Santa's. Another thing we have is our candy canes. And just like Santa Claus, these are from Germany. They are shaped this way because it represents a shepherd's hook. And sheep and shepherds are used over and over in the Bible to represent that Jesus is always with us. These candies are colored red and white. Red for the blood of Jesus and white for heaven. I can't miss talking about Christmas movies. Some famous ones that we watch during this time are Home Alone, Christmas Story, The Grinch, Frosty the Snowman, Elf, and of course, the Disney Christmas movies. And Charlie Brown, which I know is so popular in Japan. We also have one that I haven't seen much in Japan. It's called the Polar Express, and I would highly recommend watching it. It's about the train that goes to the North Pole where Santa Claus lives and makes all of his toys. American Christmas is so unique and special, and I'm very sad to be missing it this year, but I'm more excited to be in Japan and experience my first Japanese Christmas. So I hope I could share some traditions, and I would love to answer any questions you have about what I talked about.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I loved seeing all the different photos of the different traditions and the movies you watch and everything. Thank you very much. So about the tree ornaments, for example, I was wondering if do people like buy them little by little over the years, or do people have a set theme, or what's it like in your family?
Very different. Some people, like my sister, will only buy one color. She wants a very aesthetic tree that looks a certain way. However, ornaments are often given as gifts, especially during important years, like a baby being born, a marriage, a significant year. So, a lot of ornaments will commemorate a special time in your life. It's also common to have the ornament of the college or university that you attended as well.
Nice. So in a big family, you would have lots of ornaments from like different universities your children went to?
Yes, indeed. Yes. Our tree has a
Nice.
lot of colleges.
Nice. And I'm not sure if that's different from country to country too, but you mentioned the history of Christmas, of course. And is the nativity scene also part of the decoration of the tree, or is that separate?
Yes, it's not necessarily part of the tree, but many people will display the nativity scene in their home. You can always see the nativity scene outside of churches as well.
Mhm.
So it's common to see it in town.
Okay, nice. And the ugly sweater, I think I love that. I think that has kind of swept the globe as well, with
I think so.
even like fast fashion brands that will not be named selling ugly sweaters that aren't even like secondhand clothes or anything, but like pre-made
No.
ugly things. Yeah, is there anything? Do you have one, or what's the funniest one you've seen?
I refuse to buy something that is obviously ugly. I want to spend my money on pretty things. So I do not participate in this ugly sweater challenge.
Okay.
I do like to wear Christmas colors, and it's often very encouraged in, I'm a teacher in America, so it's very encouraged in schools to get the students in the holiday spirit. But no ugly sweaters for me, not at all.
Okay. Love that. Let me just check the chat. One question about the Christmas cards. Will you send one from Japan, or do you think you will receive them in Japan?
So now with Christmas cards, it's actually becoming popular to do a Christmas email. So you will get many emails this time of the year. I've gotten a few of family members and their children, their spouses, many pets, and usually just a little wish, like we wish you happy and healthy new year. This is what happened to us this year. So it's a really sweet way to connect with everyone at the end of the year, especially because I come from such a big family. It's hard to remember everything that's going on.
Nice. Yeah, and that sounds similar to how the New Year's cards or Nengajo is in Japan, where, of course, a lot of people still write them by hand, but I think they've also been kind of digitized now, and you can just send them via email or line
Completely.
or something as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, what is your favorite Christmas movie, or as a child, which did you love?
I have always had a special spot for Elf. Elf is very funny, and it takes place in New York City, which growing up as a child, I was very jaded. It was normal. That's my daily life. But seeing it in a movie was so special, and I realized how iconic the city truly is. And there's so many memorable and famous quotes from that movie. So I would highly suggest my Japanese friends checking it out this season.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I've never seen that one, so I want to check that out.
What? Go watch it. It's so good.
Nice. Also, so we definitely have Saint Nicholas in Germany as well, but I think the original saint was from what is now Turkey, but probably used to be something else in the Roman Empire. But yeah, from a slightly different part. But yeah, we also have Saint Nicholas, and we celebrate Saint Nicholas Day on the 6th of December. So maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe Santa Claus comes from that, because that Saint Nicholas wears similar clothes, but more Christian looking, more like with a cross on his head and everything. Yeah, but
exactly. Yes, Saint Nicholas is from modern day Turkey-ish. But yeah, he is not an American person. Many people always think he was created in America. No way. We borrowed him.
But yeah, I think the popular brown soda company had their hand in creating the fluffy bearded version that we know today.
The
Thank you, Coca-Cola.
Jolly rosy-cheeked Santa from the soda brand, yes.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. So yeah, thank you all so much for sharing how Christmas is in your countries. It's amazing to see the similarities and the differences. So yeah, if students want to learn more about that, or just talk to you about something else, they should definitely check out your lessons. それでは本当に講師の皆さんに、いろんな国のクリスマスについていろいろ教えていただいて、とても楽しい時間でしたが、もし今、この配信をご覧になっている皆さんがもうちょっとそのクリスマスについて聞きたいとか、他のことを話したいでもいいんですけど、ぜひ講師たちのレッスンを、先生たちのレッスンを、申し込んでください。ではちょっと一人ずつに、レッスンについて聞きたいと思います。So yeah, let's just go in the same order as before. Danielle, let's start with you. What kind of lessons do you teach on Cafetalk? Is there a specific lesson you want to tell students about? Oh, you're muted.
Yes, so at the current moment, I also have a holiday lesson that I'm offering. I teach English, obviously, as one of my languages, and my other language is actually sign language. So if you want to go ahead and learn about Christmas in sign language or English, you can go on either, because I offer both lessons. And I usually offer, I'm also doing the book club program, the books that you could read together. So I have that, and I have my regular English lessons and my beginner sign language lessons.
Okay, thank you very much. 通常の英語レッスンと、あと手話のレッスンもありますので、ぜひ見てください。Okay, Timea, what kind of lessons do you have to offer?
Yes, I also have lots of lessons. So I teach adults, but children too. I'm actually an elementary school teacher, and my specialty is math. So if somebody's watching and they need math tutoring, I have that too. Of course, I will have this month. I will have a lesson about Christmas and New Year in Hungary, and I speak English, French, and German. So I am often on standby in the morning or afternoon, and I teach short lessons in English, German, or French. And I also have some coupons for you guys. So if you are a newcomer, if you haven't taken any lessons with me, I have 50% off, and then I have 25% off for those who are returning students.
Okay, thank you very
looking
much.
forward to see you. I will be on standby also after this.
Okay, perfect. そうですね、ティメア先生も盛りだくさんのレッスンがありますが、英語レッスンは子ども向け、大人向けもあって、実は、小学校の先生です。で、そして英語だけではなくて、もちろん母国語のハンガリー語と、あと英語とフランス語も話せますので、その、会話レッスンもあったり、そして、クーポンもあるので、もしまだレッスン取ったことない方がいれば、ぜひチェックしてください。そして、オンラインスタンバイもこの後、先生は使いますので、もし時間がある方は、ぜひ、その後、ティメア先生のレッスンをオンラインスタンバイでチェックしてください。Yes, and Kara, feel free to tell us about your lessons as well. Oh, are you frozen? I'm not sure. Let's wait a moment. Yeah, I think She's frozen, but probably coming back in just a second. Okay, I think you're back. Maybe not yet. Let's just wait. So we also still have an ongoing Christmas or holiday campaign. So already Danielle mentioned that she has one of the lessons there, and there's also lots of other tutors who have holiday themed lessons that you can check out. まだ特集ページに、ホリデーシーズンキャンペーンの、ページリンクがありますので、ダニエル先生もそうなんですけど、特別にこの、ホリデーシーズンのためにレッスンを作ってくださった先生たちがたくさんいますので、もしいろんな国の先生にクリスマスについてとかニューイヤーについてとかいろいろ聞きたい方がいれば、ぜひ、ホリデーシーズン特集ページも確認してください。Okay, we're still waiting for Kara, but let me just maybe go ahead and pull up her profile so I can tell you a little bit about her lessons. So as she mentioned, she's from the US, but now in Japan, and she said it's her first Christmas here. So she has one lesson that's also about Christmas history and traditions. We're back. So feel free to talk about yourself.
I'm so sorry. I'm back. I have a Japanese pocket Wi-Fi, and sometimes it connects to outer space.
I'm glad you're back on Earth, guys.
It has come back to Earth, and we are back. Yes, so I offer classes around accents and pronunciation. I am a speech language pathologist in America, so I have studied how to speak clear standard American English extensively, and I love to talk to students who maybe feel frustrated that they know more than they can say clearly. So if you are having that problem or your R's, L's need help, come talk to me. We can fix it. No problem. I also love working with bilingual students who are learning language and need more help with that as well. So I'm happy to do adults or children. Like I said, I have been in schools for my whole career, so I am comfortable with both. And I also offer many conversation classes. So if you just want to talk and relax, come on down. Let's have a chat.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. カラ先生は発音のスペシャリストなので、もし発音とかで困ってる方がいれば、ぜひ、レッスンをチェックしてください。そしてもちろん通常の、会話レッスンとか、添削のレッスン、プルーフリーディングもありますので、ぜひ、プロフィールを見てみてください。Okay, so again, thank you everyone. This is really just like a couple of days before Christmas, so I hope everyone is already in the mood for the celebrations, getting their clothes ready and the food ready and everything. And again, thank you all very much for joining today. The three of you, if you can just stay on, even if we switch to the other screen, that would be good. And yes, everyone who joined today in the chat, thank you very much. 今日配信を見てくださった皆さん本当にありがとうございました。良いクリスマスをお過ごしください。Merry Christmas, everyone. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas.